Look who's back from the jungles of the world.
The jungle.
Our favorite adventure traveler, Kinga, is here. Kinga Phillips. Hi, Kinga.
Hi, Kinga.
Hi, guys.
You made it. You survived.
You
And,
survived.
all the creepy crawlies that are in the jungle don't scare you?
Well, I am. If you look closely, I'm covered in ant bites, and there were a lot of creepy crawlies. The only ones that really, really, truly get me are the 8-legged type.
Yeah.
Those are.
How big
my
are those there in the
nemesis.
jungle? They come in all sizes, don't they?
There were, so when we were just in the Amazon in Brazil, there was a tarantula that was hopping around that was about this big. And I say hopping around because one of the local girls, so we went into this village and I wanted to film the tarantula. So we're like, can you poke it with a stick? She walks up with her hand and goes, boom, 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 on the spider.
No.
And it goes, boom, 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 boom. I squealed and ran like a 6-year-old child, except the 6-year-old child was braver than me. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just back up 2 seconds. So you were in the Amazon.
Yes.
First of all, who does that? Second of all, what does one, if somebody's watching, they're like, yeah, I'm adventurous. I think I should go to a jungle and
take a
check it
canoe
out.
and go down the Amazon River.
Like, is there a great way to do it? Is there the right way to do it?
There is, Lisa.
Okay, tell me.
There actually is. So, jungles, that's a pretty broad term.
Sure.
A lot of them in Central and South America. And then the Amazon jungle that we, think of as like the Amazon, Brazil is really the place for that. So I flew into Manaus, which is kind of a city there on the very edge of the jungle that you go 9 days into, mostly by boat. So what they have there are these amazing boats, as fancy and as big as you want, or as small as you want. So I had this beautiful boat, it was a river boat, and we went 9 hours up the river into the jungle and spent a couple days there. So we went from Manaus to Barcelos, deep into the Amazon jungle where there's no one around.
I follow you on Instagram, and I saw some of the photos, spectacular photos of some of the native people there.
Yeah.
And tell me about that and what that was like to kind of see that virtually unchanged over hundreds of years.
It is, and that's to me one of the coolest things about the Amazon jungle is that there are still places there that no one has really been into except for the native people there. So the native population, there are multiple tribes that still live in the Amazon jungle, some that really have very little contact with outsiders, and then some of the other tribes, like the one that we visited in particular, have actually moved within the last 50 years and gone closer to civilization because it's like the Wild West. It's lawless out there. So even though there are laws in place that say, you can't disturb the native people, deforestation, taking wildlife, but like mining for
Artifacts,
gold,
all that stuff, yeah.
all of that stuff
Yeah.
is like technically you can't do that, but in the middle of the jungle, who's enforcing it? So some of these tribes are actually being hassled by people with guns coming in to mine for gold, to deforest, to take, exotic animals. And so to protect themselves, they came closer to civilization.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this because you fly into a place and then you get on a boat for 9 hours and then you're like not checking into the Hyatt. So where are you going to stay? Like
You stay on the boat.
you stay on the boat.
It's not particularly Lisa friendly, I would say.
I just want to make sure that we're clear on this.
We are definitely.
It's not the Wynn in Vegas,
I was
okay?
gonna say I'm not like booking on Expedia and be like, let me just
It is
book
not.
a hotel. No, that's not how it works.
It is pretty wild. But some of the boats are very nice. Some
Okay.
of them, have their own rooms. They have showers. Some are hot. Ours wasn't. But it's adventurous.
And I want to know about the native people because, like Carla said, I mean, I watched your Instagram stories and saw the people, and they seemed lovely, and they seemed like they were very happy that you were there. I mean, is it dangerous to just go into these villages like this, or should people be cautious?
Well, not the one that we went into.
Okay.
So the one that we went into, people do visit them, and they are open to that because now they live closer to civilization. And in all truth, they make some of their money on people coming in and visiting them.
Okay.
But there are tribes that are still deep in the jungle that if you ran into them, they're not going to harm you, but they are going to be a little cautious of who you are and why you're there. And so the dominant language in Brazil is Portuguese, but a lot of these tribes speak their own language, so you would even have a tough time communicating with some of them.
So I know that you've been on this kick to kill everything that you eat, mostly fish.
Huntitarian.
Huntitarian.
So did you fish while you were on this trip, and did you do that?
I did a little bit, which was really neat. The water levels are really high because this is the rainy season. So this isn't like the time of year to go fishing. And they did tell us us that a lot of their tourism comes from Americans and Texans in particular,
Really?
because the fish in the Amazon are huge. They get like 10 feet long.
Oh,
so
my.
people come in and they come in for sports fishing. But because the water levels were so high because of the rainy season and the fish stay deeper, this isn't really the time of year for that. So we did catch a couple of smaller fish, but I got to go to a fish market and see like these paraibas, these huge fish, and like they have these fish heads and piranha. It's everything that you could imagine.
Fish that
and
can
more.
eat you, well, you can eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tasty.
I saw the piranha on your Instagram story, and I was like,
There they
nope,
are.
Thank
nope,
you.
nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope.
you don't want to hear the boats capsizing.
Yeah, no, I do not.
Although we did go swimming, we swam in the Amazon.
Also, there are safe places to go.
There
safe.
are.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
really are. I mean, there are
What a
things
great
you can
adventure.
encounter. There are anaconda, there are caiman, there are piranha. When we went to one of the villages, we saw a very fresh jaguar track.
Wow.
A print on the ground in the mud, and that village told us, like, be careful walking around at night because this jaguar has been stalking our village and taking all of our dogs.
There you go.
Ah,
Friendly place.
yeah. Beware
Yes,
if you
yes.
go. All right, Kinga, thank you so much for bringing your amazing stories
See,
back.
somebody's brave enough to go out there in the world, right?
Not today.
We're here. We're safe. Thanks, Kinga.